Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to Chow, an Android application which aims to transform the way we see food delivery services and reunite the communities using them. First of all, I'd like to introduce our team. My name's Michael, and I'll be covering our motivation behind the idea. Zish will be taking us through a demo. Josh will be detailing our approach, and James will be talking about the challenges that we faced along the way. So first of all, our motivation. And this all started with a problem. And one thing all of us within the team recognised was the way in which the recent changes to our civil liberties driven by this recent pandemic has really amplified many of the modern problems that we now face. Our local communities have been impacted from two sides. Local business, some have shut down, and others have had their operations restricted. And on the other side, communities are slightly more isolated, and this includes individuals of all ages. So how are we going about solving this particular problem that we've identified? Well, first of all, to support existing local businesses. This involves local producers and home kitchens, as we like to call them, by enabling them to list their produce on our platform and adapt to the changes that we see. Secondly, to foster connections, the community can access meals from the local kitchens and local produce, and regular users of other food delivery apps who perhaps are a little fed up with a lack of wholesome food on offer on the alternatives. And thirdly, to develop a general entrepreneurial spirit. Our app provides a slick platform for new local entrepreneurs, and this could include just people who've got into baking over lockdown, and maybe they want to showcase a small business. They'll be able to access our ready-made customer base through the Chow network. So why food? So we did a bit of research, and the food service delivery market is worth around £8.5 billion, and this is largely thanks to recent dramatic growth in online delivery concept, specifically on mobile apps. One thing we identified, however, that these apps do not have is a focus on home-cooked style meals and local produce, and this is where we saw our opportunity. Now I'd like to hand you over to Zish, who's going to take you through a demo of our app.
Thank you, Mikey. Now, everybody, let's put ourselves in the position of a typical Chow user. I'm thinking of a scenario, perhaps, where the winter nights are drawing in, it's cold, it's dark, it's getting late, and I'm feeling hungry. But the problem is, I'm in a tier 3 alert lockdown level, so it looks like I'm going to be staying in tonight. And I'm looking in the fridge, and there's not much in there, so that can only mean one thing. It's Takeaway Friday. Now, I could just order from Deliveroo or Just Eat, but I kind of have a craving for a hearty home-cooked meal and maybe some fresh local produce. So do you know what? Maybe Chow can help brighten up my day. So I'll start by going through the sign-up process like I just did and entering my phone number, name, and unique password. And now I've signed up, I'll log in with these details. I'll input my username and my password, as I'm doing at this moment. Here we go. And oops, yeah, I've put the wrong username in, and it's sent me a flash notification to alert me of that fact. And yep, we're in. So as you can see, we've got a list of different food categories, ranging from home-cooked meals to fresh meat and fish, and a wonderful selection of local produce. But I've still got that craving for a shepherd's pie, so let me select home-cooked meals. And now you can see a list of local businesses, or kitchens, as we like to call them in Chow speak. And the kitchen names may be familiar to some of you watching. Now, each kitchen has a unique list of menu items with the facility to add multiple items to your cart. So now I've got my shepherd's pie. I'm going to enter that and add that to the cart. And now I feel like something sweet for dessert. So let me head over to Madame Luthier's Bakery. Great selection of sweet treats there. I think I'll go for the cheesecake. As you can see, my cart shows how many items I already have in my basket. Now, how about some fresh produce from one of Chow's local suppliers? I think I may want to make an apple pie on the weekend, so I think I need some juicy apples. I think 4 large ones should do it, and that's me done. So I'll use the back button to return to the home page and click out with the cart. And the cart screen shows the list of items currently in my basket, and I have the facility to adjust quantities, which recalculates the total at the bottom. I can also side swipe to remove an item, and the final step is to place my order. So I'll enter my delivery address, which is going to be Makers HQ. So Makers team, heads up, there's a cheesecake overload incoming. And then I can access the orders I've placed through this floating action bar to the left of the screen before finally I'll sign out. And we're done. My name's Zish. I'm in Cheesecake Heaven. And now I'll hand you over to my good friend Josh.
Thank you, Zish. Now on to our approach. To start with, we had to make a plan. So to our Miro board, we went. In our planning sessions, we created user stories, devised our database structures and relationships, planned out our tech stack, and created mock-ups of our app, all of which allowed us to gain a clear vision of what we wanted to produce. How did we go about learning? Java and Android Studios were new technologies to us. So we mainly used Google's Android developer documentation to acquire the knowledge needed to build our app. We found that as this documentation is frequently updated, it is far more reliable than other independent resources, such as the Medium articles out there. Once we formed the team, we established regular stand-ups at 10 a.m. to discuss our daily planning goals, with retros at 6 p.m. in which we reflected upon the day and discussed our priorities for the morning. Then to actually build the app, we formed a well-rounded development process consisting of mobbing and pairing. If unfamiliar with mobbing, it's essentially a style of work in which all members of a team constantly work together and quote unquote mob any issues that may arise. We mainly mob to share knowledge and to debug errors, then paired up in order to implement our features. How we built Chow. Our tech stack may be small in number, but it is efficient and complements one another perfectly. We have Java, the language we used for developing Chow. Why Java, you may ask? We wanted to use an object-oriented language, as that's what we've been using throughout our memorable time here at Makers. But we also wanted a little bit of a challenge. And as Java is statically typed compiled language, it was the worthy choice. Android Studios is the environment that we use to develop our app. Since we wanted to build an Android app, it seemed only natural. And we soon learned that Android Studios was a very handy tool, and when fully utilized, it made formatting our app a delight. And lastly, we got Firebase as a platform for creating a cloud-hosted database, which allowed all of us to collaborate together. We did consider using alternatives, but we found that integrating our code was a lot simpler using Firebase. And now I'd like to pass you over to my chief, James Glenn.
Thanks, Josh. So what challenges did we face during our time building Chow? Well, we came into this project with big ambitions. Our initial aspiration was to build 2 flows for the app, the user side and the kitchen side. But in hindsight, we perhaps underestimate the complexity of learning a language like Java, especially in such a short space of time. And as a result, sacrifices had to be made. We all had to accept the reality that something from our app wouldn't make the final cut. Even if we worked night and day, it was unlikely that we would build it all within a 2-week time frame, especially taking into account the fact that Java was new to all of us. Deciding what to cut was a real challenge. We wanted all of these features to be in our app, but we came together as a group and made the tough decision to just focus on making the user experience the best it could be. So we have 3 main takeaways from this experience. Firstly, the importance of effective and sometimes tough decision-making, and also in recognizing when we need to make those decisions early on. Secondly, that the Makers process really works, and that we've all become language agnostic and can now be confident in approaching new languages. And lastly, embedding agile workflows into your process and utilizing methods of project management pays dividends when it comes to delivering results. And on that note, I thank you all for watching.